So today I'm going to ruffle some feathers, but that's the beauty about sports because we debate and we give our opinions. And today I think we're going to have a heated debate at the end of this video, and I'm sure you guys are going to have a lot to say. So I'm here to tell you guys that that Kobe Bryant was a better basketball player than LeBron James, and it's not even close. So before I get into this, let me just first of all say that I'm a huge Kobe Bryant fan. I admit that outright, okay? But more than that, I'm an even bigger basketball fan, okay? So I've been watching basketball for probably over 15 years now, you know, going all the way back to high school with my friends, and, you know, I really study basketball now. I'm not a coach or anything like this. It's just that I follow the game closely. I watch it a lot to the point where I can understand players' tendencies just by watching them a lot. I can tell you, okay, at this certain point in the game, this person's going to do this. Now, why am I having this debate? Because for quite a bit of time, let's say in the last 20 years, there's been a lot of debate about who's been the best player since Michael Jordan. Now, some people say it's LeBron, and some people say it's Kobe, or some people don't even mention Kobe Bryant for whatever reason. Now, let me first of all get into the reason why I think that Kobe doesn't get mentioned in a lot of these debates and these top lists when they're talking about who was the best player after Michael Jordan. Reason number one, I believe that comes from the media. Okay, a lot of people in the media don't like Kobe Bryant because for the majority of his career, he wasn't very personable. He didn't have a fluffy personality like LeBron James did. And, you know, a lot of people regarded Kobe as an asshole. Let's just say what it is. If you ask a lot of NBA players, and we did a video on Kevin Durant when Kevin Durant once said he was going to remember Kobe Bryant as being an asshole, that's how he was. You know, he wasn't out to make any friends. He was extremely competitive. And, you know, that's how he was. That's how he was with a lot of his peers. It was only, I think, up until his last season, the final season of his career, where you actually saw Kobe started smiling on the court. Prior to that, he would never smile with people. He just wouldn't do it. So before I give you my final reasons as to why I think Kobe is a better basketball player than LeBron James, let's just go into their career stats. Now, LeBron James is a 3-time NBA champion, 3 times Finals MVP, 4-time regular season MVP, 15-time All-Star, 3-time All-Star game MVP. He's made the first team NBA 12 times, second team twice. He's made all NBA defensive team 5 times, and he was a rookie of the year, and it goes on and on and on and on. But these are his major accomplishments, right? Now, if we look at Kobe, he's a 5-time NBA champion, 2-time Finals MVP. He's been, you know, a regular season MVP 1 time, and he's been to the All-Star game. He's had 18 All-Star appearances. He's been on 11 all first team NBAs, and he's been on 9 all defensive team for the NBA, and he's won scoring titles and all these different things. Now, these are, let's say, the generic accomplishments, but we're going to break it down, okay? First thing being first, I think when we're assessing great players, and if you ask other people that follow basketball, one of the first things that they look at is championships. Now, I'm going to kill this argument that a lot of people like to make, like Shannon Sharp, that say, well, if you're going to count championships, you got to look at Bill Russell because Bill Russell has 11 championships. Now, the problem with that statement is you're automatically neutralizing your own argument. Why is that? Because if you're going to throw out a retort, if somebody says Michael Jordan, Skip Bayless says to Shannon Sharp, Michael Jordan is better than LeBron because MJ won 6 championships, so LeBron's 3. And you bring up the argument that Bill Russell has 11, then that further reduces the player that you're trying to compare to Michael Jordan. Because you're even showing a bigger because by using that argument, then you're really saying that Michael Jordan is not the greatest, but it's damn showing LeBron because LeBron only has 3. So that's the reason why you can't use that argument. The second reason is we have to infuse this debate with a little bit of common sense, okay? Robert Horry has 7 championship rings. Is anybody here going to argue that Robert Horry is a better basketball player than Chris Paul or LeBron James? LeBron James has 3. So is Robert Horry better than LeBron James? Obviously, you wouldn't make that argument. So we're gonna go into this debate knowing that we're gonna be using some common sense logic when we're having this argument. So I just explained to you their different careers, their career accomplishments. Okay. Now let's go into their actual career stats. Now let's look at LeBron. Now his highest point season that he scored points per game in a season, I believe it was, he averaged, I think it was 30 points. No, sorry, I'm looking at the playoffs. Yes, in a regular season, he averaged 30 points a game when it came to scoring. That was in the 2007-2008 season. Now, Kobe's highest scoring season when it comes to points was in 2005-2006, that's 35 points a game. So that's about 5.5 points better as a scorer at their peak of their powers. Now, obviously basketball, we're going to measure these players beyond just scoring. We're also going to look at the impact of what they're scoring, what it did, regardless of the fact that Kobe's had multiple 60-point plus games to LeBron's only one 60-point plus game, and Kobe had an 80.1 game and all this other stuff. We're also going to look about the scoring that matters. Now, let's first of all start off by looking at the different conferences that both of these players have to go through. In order for Kobe's Lakers to actually make it to the finals, they had to beat teams like the Spurs, the Kings, the Phoenix Suns. I'm talking about the Phoenix Suns when they were good, just to get to the finals. Now, if you look at the East, a lot of the teams that LeBron had to go through to get to the finals, you can't even compare. Everyone knows who the more difficult conference is. Up until recent, when LeBron had a lot of pushback from their main sort of nemesis in the Eastern Conference was who? Was none other than the Boston Celtics. But that only lasted for a few years. Now, Kobe's been to the finals 7 times, I think to LeBron's 9, but Kobe is 7. He's won 5 out of those 7 times. So he has actually a higher winning percentage in the finals. Now, some of you may say, well, Kobe had Shaq. You're damn right, Kobe did have Shaq, but LeBron also had D. Wade and Chris Bosh, which if you put those 2 people together, that's like one Shaq, okay? When they had D. Wade was in his prime. It wasn't like they had some D. Wade coming out of his prime when they got him. Now, later on in their championship run, when they went, I think they went to the finals. The Miami Heat went to the finals, I think it was 3 times. Yes, Dwayne Wade was declined because he had some issues with his knees. But a lot of those games, especially in the series against San Antonio that the Miami Heat won, D. Wade actually came up pretty big in those series, and he really had a lot of impact on those series. Now, let's look at the other things, because the other thing that we see in the media is that a lot of people will say LeBron, but it's usually media heads, right? It's these people in the media that like LeBron James a lot, like Nick Wright and all that. So when LeBron goes to the finals and he just completely capitulates, just falls apart in all these different games, they don't really talk about that. But when Kobe does it, they do, because that's the person that they like. But if you watch NBA players and you ask NBA people that actually played against them, they all of them usually pick Kobe. But forget about the fact that we're even going to use the example of NBA players. Let's talk about what LeBron James himself has said when they asked him between him and Kobe, who's a better player. Let's see what LeBron said.
Who's the best player in the NBA?
Kobe Bryant.
Better than you?
I would have to say right now. He's a really, really good player. Individually, he has some of the best skills that the NBA has ever seen in history. And he's shown year after year after year why he continues to be one of the best players in the league. I'm getting better, though.
Now, after you just heard what LeBron said it himself. So it's not like as if I'm saying it. Now, this guy has seen Kobe up front, close, he's watched this guy. Now, why would he say that? Now, forget about the fact that I'm saying it or other people are saying it, but he himself has said it, that he said when they were both playing in the peak of their powers, LeBron has continuously said that Kobe is better than he is. Can you pull up a clip where Kobe has said, other than Michael Jordan, where he said that there's another basketball player that was better than him? If you can find the clip, just post it in the comment section so I'll see it, because I've never seen a clip where Kobe said that there was another basketball player that was better than he was. Another thing, if you guys remember, I think it was in 2008 when the Team USA had the Redeem Team. Now, you have to remember, Kobe had never been on an Olympic team, because I think prior to that, the time they went before, he had gotten injured, so he couldn't really make the team. And I think the coach at the time was Coach Krzyzewski, if I'm saying his name right. And they were saying that if you watch the video, it's called Road to Redemption. It's a documentary online. You can see it on YouTube. And they were saying that the thing that made this team different was the addition of two key veterans. Now, remember, LeBron had actually been in the Olympics when they lost, I think it was to Argentina. And I think they got the bronze. AI was on that team. Tim Duncan was on that team. LeBron James was on that team. Lamar Odom was on that team. And they got the bronze. So the reason they were calling them the redeemed team is because the USA was trying to get back to the gold. So they brought in Kobe and Jason Kidd. And they said during the first scrimmage, you saw Kobe running for a loose ball and dived over the bleachers to go get the ball. And they said that immediately set the tone for the entire team. And they said everyone in the arena in the practice facility knew who the best player was. Now, according to Nick Wright says at no point in Kobe Bryant's career was he the best player in the world. Yet there's so many other people that can go out there and tell you that Kobe was the best player alive. Mark Jackson and so many others that will tell you this is the baddest man on the planet. So what happened in that offseason, in that Olympic sort of training camp season, whatever it was, is that for the first time, Kobe's competitors saw how he trains. And that's what really changed a lot of the games of people like Carmelo Anthony and LeBron James, because they got to see this guy's work habits up front, close. They would notice that if a practice was at 10, Kobe would be up at 4. He's already getting up shots by 5 a.m. while everybody's sleeping. He'd already did a full workout before the real practice started. So when they got a chance to see the habits of him, it automatically made them better, because now you see how this dude trains, what makes him so unique. Now remember, LeBron already admitted that Kobe was better than him. He already said it. Forget about what I'm saying. LeBron fans watching this video, I know you guys are like, man, this dude a hater. Go watch it himself. How are you going to say that LeBron is better than Kobe when LeBron says Kobe is better than him? So we got to take our emotions out of it. Like, I'm a Kobe fan, but I'm not going to get up and say that Kobe is better than MJ. I would never say something like that, because I've seen both of them play and MJ was better. It's not about your heart feelings like, man, this one. Nah, like, you keep it real. This dude was better than him, and you just keep it real. Now, he saw that, and that's what helped elevate LeBron's game. But if we talk about it overall, LeBron never won as much as Kobe did. That's just the reality. A lot of people like to count going to the finals. LeBron has been to the finals so many times. So what does that mean? LeBron has 9 rings? He's gone to the finals and we're counting losses? In a regular season of 82 games, do we count losses as wins? No, we don't. So why are we counting finals appearances? It just means you're the first loser in the finals. So you can say so-and-so person made it to the finals 9 times. It doesn't really matter. What matters is, did you win? Because in sports, we play to win. We just don't play to get there, right? So people saying that LeBron has been to the final, that don't matter. It's, have you won? Because if you look at it, if you Google his stats, when they talk about championships won, they're not talking about championship appearances. They're talking about how many have you won. And rings count for something. You can't wash away rings. Like if you watch Shannon Sharp debate Skip Bayless a lot on Undisputed, he always likes to gloss over the fact that MJ had. You can't take that away and act like as if it didn't happen. It happened. MJ won at the highest level, and Michael Jordan never lost. Never. Not even one time in the final. He never even allowed a series to go to Game 7. Not even one time. So me as a Kobe fan, I would sound retarded coming up here and doing a video saying that Kobe is better than Michael Jordan. So if I said something like that, it would be strictly out of emotion. And yeah, sports is supposed to get us riled up and for us to give our opinions and all of this stuff, but we have to have some common sense with it, because if we're just saying any and everything, people won't take you seriously, or they're going to say this dude is a homer because he's just going to say whatever it is to support his favorite player. But in my honest opinion, Kobe Bryant was a better player than LeBron James, and it wasn't even close. For more short clips and other interesting shows, be sure to subscribe to the Dreamerspro YouTube channel. And for more in-depth analysis on sports and other events around the sporting world, make sure you follow us on our Dreamerspro Podcast on Spotify and iTunes. Until the next episode, peace.